There are two ways to use an array with a structure. First is that you can use an array within a structure, or you can create an array of structure. We can use an array within a structure. Structures can contain arrays as member variables. Let us understand how to use an array within a structure through this program. Let us create a structure for students and store the details of the students. These details will be the members of the structure, and these details will include roll number, name and marks. Let's begin by typing struct and give our structure the name student, then curly brackets, and inside these brackets I am going to declare my first variable as roll number, which is of integer type since roll number is a numeric entity. Then in the next step, let's create a character type array to store the name of the student. So char name 20, so it's 20 characters long. And finally we can have marks. Let's suppose I want to store marks of 5 different subjects. Then in that case I can create an array of floating point type and give it a name marks. Then size of this array will be 5. In the next step I am going to declare a structure variable. So let's do it by typing struct student, and then let's give our structure variable a name s1. You may include any name of your choice. In the next step I am going to assign values to the members. So here I am going to display a message because I want to get the values from the users. Enter roll number of the student, and then in the next line I will type s1 dot roll number. In the next line I will type /n, enter name of the student, then cin s1 dot name. Now you remember that char name 20, this is a character array. So in case of character array we can directly type name, we don't need to use any loop, and the compiler is intelligent enough to understand that this is a character array, so we are going to enter a string value only. And finally we have /n, enter marks of the 5 subjects, semicolon. And here, since this marks is an array and the size is 5, so I need to enter 5 different values, and this is a floating point type, so we will enter decimal values here. In order to get the input I need to make use of a for loop. So let's do it by typing here, let me declare one variable at the top of the main function. This is int I. So this is going to be my loop variable just to keep track of the index values within the array. And now coming back over here, I am typing for I equal to, we are having 5 subjects within the array, so the marks of the first subject will be stored at position 0, that means index value is 0, and the last value will be equal to 4. All the values lie in between, and I plus plus is for incrementing the index values. Then we can get input by typing cin, and now this is an array, so we need to type the name of the array, and along with it within the square brackets we have to provide the index I and then semicolon. This is how we can input the values into the array. We are only left with the last part, which is to display all the values. So once again I am typing one message, roll number of the student is equal to, and then cout s1 dot roll number, then name of the student is to be displayed, so name of the student is equal to, and then we can display s1 dot name, and then we have cout /n marks of the 5 subjects are, and then I will type here /n semicolon. Once again I'm going to make use of a for loop, so I'll just copy the code from here because I have to access the values from every index within the array marks. So I will replace this C in with C out, and rest of the code will remain as it is. Let's make it more cleaner by typing here /t. So I have added the tab space here just to make sure that all the values are displayed with some space in between. Now let's execute our program. Let's run it. Okay, it's saying marks was not declared in the scope, so I forgot to put s1 here, s1 dot, then I can access marks, and here also the same mistake, s1 dot marks. Rest of the code is okay, so let's run. Alright, enter the roll number of the student. Let's suppose it is 10. Enter. Name of the student is Bob. Enter. Marks of the 5 subject. Let's suppose 90.5. Enter. 89.6. Enter. 80.2. Enter. 76.5. Enter. And 77.8. Enter. So you can see roll number of the student is 10. Name of the student is Bob, and marks of the 5 subjects are being displayed here with some tab space in between all these values. We already know that array is a collection of same type of values, so we can create an array of structure type also. To create an array of a structure, we need to first declare our structure, and at the end, while declaring our structure variables, we must mention the size along with the structure variable name. So that means we are creating an array here of the given size, and all the values of this array will be of structure type. Let's understand how to create an array of a structure. So let's begin it by first declaring our structure. Let's call this structure as student, and the members of the student structure are roll number, which is integer type value, and char name 20. Now it's time to create an array of structure variables. So we will begin by typing struct, then name of the structure as student, then let's create an array called s, and here let's provide the size as 4. So we are going to create an array of size 4. That means we will get the values for 4 different students, roll number and name for 4 different students. Now that we have created an array of structure variables, it's time to assign the values. To assign the values, we must keep in mind that this time we are working with an array of structure variables. Therefore, we can use a for loop, and in order to use a for loop, we must first declare a loop variable. So at the top here inside the main function, I am going to create a loop variable. Let's call it as I. And this loop variable is to keep track of the index values within the array, and then the next step is to assign the values, and in order to do so I can now create my for loop. Since it is an array and the position of the first element is by default 0 always, so I will be equal to 0. This is where my first structure variable will get stored, and the last position in the array will be equal to 3 since we have an array of size 4, I plus plus, and then here inside the for loop I will be receiving input for 4 different structure variables. So I will type here /n, enter roll number of student, and here I will type I. So this will give me the value for which index I am getting the input. So this I will have that index value inside it, and then C in. Now in order to access the roll number, I will have to type here S and then in square brackets I and then dot, and now only I can access here roll number and then semicolon. Since we are working with an array of structure variables, so we cannot have a single structure variable name over here. We must mention the name of the array which we have created for storing our structure variables, which is S in this case, Along with it, we must mention the index value also, and after that we can access the members of the structure. Okay, in the next line we will type /n, enter name of the student, and then in the next line we will have si dot name semicolon. Okay, this is done. Now we are left with the last part, which is to display the values. Once again I am going to take the same for loop. So my for loop is repeated 3i++, and inside here I will type /n roll number of the student, and then I want to display value I, and here is equal to, you may just reduce the space here and add one here, and here in the next line I will type cout si dot select the roll number semicolon, and similarly we can have /n name of the student is equal to, and in the next line we can type si dot name semicolon. Let's run this program. No errors. So here the first message is enter roll number of student 0. Here 0 is the index value of the first structure variable. So let's say roll number is 11, enter. Name of the student is Annie, enter. Now comes enter roll number of student 1. Let's suppose the roll number is 12 and the name is Bob. Enter roll number of student 2. Let's suppose the roll number is 45. So here I am having Smith as the name, and enter roll number of student 3. Let's say it is 50, and here we can have name of the student as maybe William, and here you can see the final output. Roll number of student 0 is 11, name of the student is Annie, name of the student 1 is 12, name of the student is Bob, for student 2 it is 45 and Smith, and 50 and William.